Hello students, I welcome you all to Current Affair Lectures by Azad ICS Academy, and today we are going to look into the current affairs of 25th of April 2025. So before we go to the current affairs of today, let us see the question that we had discussed yesterday. So yesterday we had discussed which sector was the largest contributor of sulfur dioxide emission in 2022, and we had seen this very clearly in yesterday's lecture that there was a map or you can say a mind map kind of thing, and that was showing you that different emissions emitted air pollutant particles such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, methane. So all these are coming from which of the sources we have discussed that. And sulfur dioxide is majorly coming from which industry? It is basically from the energy industry is what is the right answer. Similarly, nitrogen oxides, X basically means it is oxides. It could be NO2, it could be NO, or it could be NO3. Any of these can come if it is NOx. Okay, X means X can be any number, right? So this is basically from the transportation or due to transportation, the large amount of nitrogen oxides are getting released. And similarly, methane, CH4 is getting released because of agricultural, production, right? So this is what we had discussed in yesterday's lecture, that there are different sources of air pollutants and different reasons are there, right? Now, what we have to understand here is, so the answer for yesterday's question is energy, because sulfur dioxide is majorly coming out because of the energy sector. Energy sector could be anything. It could be like, there are different methods wherein we can generate electricity. It could be thermal power plant wherein sulfur dioxide is coming out, or it could be nuclear power plant, or any such kind of power plant where energy is being produced, such as electricity generation or any such things, right? So what is the solution for this? So the solution for this is that we have to shift to electrical vehicles. So I have told in previous lecture, we have also discussed about how Narendra Modi ji has been speaking with Elon Musk, and his companies production are going to start in India, and that is going to help India a lot, like especially Starlink for all the satellite related sector, and EV, that is electronical vehicles, can also be constructed or produced in India. So this is what is the discussion that's going on, and this is one of the solution that can reduce the carbon dioxide level. And what is the issue when you are having a lot of pollution? So if there is a lot of pollution, then what is going to happen here is that there will be a lot of issues in the health, especially health issues such as it could be asthma, it could be arthritis. Okay, these are the issues that you will be facing. You will be facing a lot of issues with your lungs also. Okay, so these are the things that are associated with air pollution. And what India can do is, one is, have this EV, that is electrical vehicles, and another is also to make sure that we are having a proper plan on National Air Pollution Control Association, etc. So all these things, authority, etc. So there we have to make our strengthen our monitoring, etc. So this is what we have to do to make our air quality better, right? So this was the topic that we discussed yesterday, and today we are going to discuss about the Pakistan shuts airspace snap trade relation with India. So Pakistani airspace shut down, okay? Indian shut down two Indian operating airlines. That means Pakistan is not allowing the Indian airlines to operate, okay? Indian Naval Air Advisory told to exit. Wagah border, that is cross-border transit, are also being closed. High Commission staff cut off from 55 to 30. Okay, SARC visa suspended except for Sikh pilgrimage. Only for Sikh pilgrimage, they can ask you what is an exception here. So SARC visas. See, we all know about SARC countries. This is a part of international relations. Okay, we will see different groupings there, and SARC is one of the groupings. Okay, in that we have India and Pakistan as a member countries. And what has happened here is, anybody who has the SARC, they have a separate visa and they can come and go in these particular SARC countries. So this kind of visa that is allowed for the Pakistanis to come into India because they had SARC visa, now that will not be accepted. That will be suspended except for Sikh pilgrimage. Okay. Now, blocking Indus flow deemed act of war. Okay. Apart from this, Shimla Accord may be also abandoned or held abandoned. That means this can also be not considered. Now, we'll not go there. We'll just see the overview. Pakistan on Thursday closed its airspace to Indian airlines and suspended all the trade as a part of response to Indian actions after the Pahalgam war attack or terror attack. It warned again against any misadventure, indicating that it expects military responses from the Indian over. Thursday, brutal killing of 26 men in Jammu Kashmir by terror belonged to a group linked to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba. So you have to also know this particular incident that has happened is built to what, or it is linked to which, launch pad, or it is linked to which kind of organization. It is from Lashkar-e-Taiba, that is, which is based from Pakistan, and that is what the information that we have, right? So it want that stopping Indus Valley civilization, or sorry, Indus Valley water treaty or Indus water treaty, whatever we are stopping. If we do that, it will be considered as an act of war. So you need to understand what is Pakistan telling. Pakistan is warning India and saying that if you, take this Indus treaty or Indus treaty, if you go against Indus water treaty, then we will consider it as an act of war, is what they are telling us. Diplomatic downsides include, that is, Indian Defense Advisory persona, that is, number of people who are there in High Commission are also getting reduced. Okay. Now, Wagah border is also, and SARC visa are also getting closed, except for Sikh pilgrimage. Okay. Narendra Modi ji assured stringent punishment for Pahalgam attack, vowing national pursuit. So he is telling that, our Prime Minister is telling that there will be a proper answer to whatever has happened so far. Okay. Now, so airspace ban, trade and transit closed. So whatever trade and transit is happening, all of that is getting closed. Okay. Diplomatic relations are also getting reduced. The size of diplomats that are present are also going to get reduced. So this is what's happening, right? Apart from this, religious visa, except for Sikh pilgrimage allowed, remaining everything is not allowed, exempted. Now, challenges that we have here is that such tit for tat escalations further diplomatic rupture and leaves a little room for peaceful dialogue. So if we are having such a kind of a relation with our neighboring countries, we will have very less room for further diplomatic relations. Okay. Now, what we have to understand here is Shimla Accord and Treaty, the suspension of foundational agreement undermines the bilateral peace architecture also. Whatever peace architecture we have, all of that is also going to get affected, right? Indian security posture, trade impact. So it is also going to have a lot of impact on the trade. It is going to have a lot of impact on other things as well. This is what we have to understand when it comes to India-Pakistan relations. India emphasis on zero tolerance policy towards terrorism. And that is what is expected also, because we cannot accept terrorism wherein 26 civilians are being dead and we keep quiet is not something that is expected. So what is India saying? That we are not going to accept this. With Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji pledging a nationwide and international pursuit for conspirators, means whoever has done this act are not going to be left, is what they're saying. India is likely to maintain strategic firmness while using diplomatic channels to internationalize Pakistan's actions on cross-border terrorism. So here we are also going to take international help when it comes to cross-border terrorism that Pakistan is basically supporting. So this is all the thing. Now here, what all you have to understand here is what will be considered as an act of war, what is an exception. See, exceptions are something that UPSC may ask you, and you may also need to know which is the important base camp that has made this terror act, and that is Lashkar-e-Taiba, right? So this is the first important article that we have. Second important article is not related to India, but yes, it is one of the important article that we have. That is amid religion, ferment, Kurds quest for statehood. So it is basically it is a part. Here we have retired Indian ambassador with the interest in West Asian geopolitics. He's currently the president of Eco Diplomacy and Strategy based in New Delhi. So he's writing this. West Asia is in geoengineering flux, not since the birth of Israel, that is 77 years ago. The perennial Palestinian issue is the pivot minimum. So you have to understand there is a lot of issues that are happening, how we have India-Pakistan issues. Similarly, in the Middle East, we have Israel and Palestinian issues as well. Okay, so what is the history that we have? Let us not go into details. We'll see what is important here. Here we have Kurds. Okay, what is this Kurds? We'll see. So Kurd is the fourth largest fourth largest ethnic group that is present in West Asia. Okay, in the West Asia, we have this group that is present. It is spread across where all these Kurds group are present. They are present majorly in Turkey, okay, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. But remains stateless, means they are fourth largest ethnic group. They are present in these countries like Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Syria, but they do not have a separate country as such. Okay. Now, stateless, despite the 1920 Treaty of Sevres, which promised them autonomy. They said, there was a Treaty of Sevres. 1920 May, they had a treaty which is called as Treaty of Severus, and this treaty told them that they will have a particular state, but they do not have it. Present geopolitical flux, regional development from Israel hardline policy to Iranian nuclear talks to Turkey domestic issues and Syria reconstruction, both opportunities and risk Kurdish ambitions. So even there are other things that are happening, but that is not giving any kind of proper statehood to Kurds. Okay. So Kurds have been faced persistent repression, notably in Turkey, especially if you go to Turkey, example, criminalizing the Kurd language. Okay, there are different parties which are not allowing the Kurdish language to, get promoted, etc. So such kind of things are happening. Despite this, Kurds have carved autonomous zones, especially in Iraq and Syria. So global dimension, what we have to understand here is that Kurds' aspirations are often submerged under large powers and strategic interests. So what we have to understand here is that Kurds are kind of, what you mean to say, they are not being getting what they need. They are being always depressed, or they are being subsumed under the larger, what you mean to say. So I was talking about significance of, global dimensions. What is happening here is the Kurds' aspirations are always subsumed. That is nothing but when there are bigger countries or larger powers, because of the strategic interest or something like that, they are not considering the Kurds issue at all. Okay, so that is one of the issues that they are facing. For instance, while US supporting Syrian Kurd militant, Iranian and Turkish and Syria opposes Kurdish statehood. So fearing separatism within the borders, the other countries like, Turkey and other countries are, not wanting a kind of a separate border. And that is why they are not allowing the Kurds to have a separate statehood. And this is what's happening. Okay, the Kurdish issue illustrates the complex interplay of ethnicity and greater power. So because of all these things, the greater power are going to remain at a greater power, and we are not kind of addressing the issue that is related to Kurds. Okay, it underscores the challenges faced by the stateless nations and limitless international laws. Okay, so providing insights to identified base conflicts and regional stability and diplomacy. So it is very important for us to make sure that there is a proper identity conflict resolution. There should be a proper regional stability and diplomacy, right? So Kurds cause remain a litmus test for international consistency. So for India, what is important for us, we have to understand the evolving situations offer less minority integration, ethnic federalism, and basic strategy relation within the ethnic foreign policy consideration. So we also, it is not going to affect us, but we need to be aware, especially Kurds. You need to understand which are the places that they are present in, what are the issues that they're facing. Maybe it could come in your prelims. Also, it could come even in your international relations or such kind of, society or something like that. So this becomes a very important topic that we have. Now let us see the question that we have for today. Okay. In which country do the majority of the Kurds live? So if you see the majority of the Kurds, I haven't mentioned particularly that this much amount, but yes, if you have seen the class, you see that there is one country that I've repeatedly been using. Okay, so try to identify, because all the 4 countries Kurds live, but majority is present in one of the countries. So try to identify which country the majority of the Kurds are living. What is the issue that they are facing? Because they are facing minority issues, especially in one of the countries, which is supposed to be the answer also. In that country, what has happened here is the language is also being banned, or they are being criminalized. That means anybody who is speaking Kurdish language are considered as criminals, right? Like similarly, how Hindus in Jammu Kashmir are considered bad for terrorists. Similarly, in this country, the people who are speaking Kurdish are considered bad, right? Or they're considered as criminals. So this kind of issues are happening, and that is why this is supposed to be an important article that we have for today. Please put in your comments, answer in the comment section, and also comments. If you have any suggestions, please put that as well so that we can improvise for the better. Thank you so much.